Hidden somewhere in this video is a secret. Find the Canadian flag and comment its location. What if the next 90 minutes decided the absolute ruler of planet Earth?
You stand at the absolute center of a new reality, where nations agreed to bury their deadly weapons and move global sovereignty into one green rectangle. This historic treaty transformed sports coaches into generals, leading their people's destiny, forcing your mind to carry the heaviest geopolitical burden without a weapon. The Crow welcomes you to the alternative arena of war. Prepare your mind, for humanity's economic and political destiny for the next 4 years is decided here tonight. Before the roaring roar of the crowd begins to distract your focus, there is nothing but frozen silence and anxiety waiting inside your heart. Taking a deep breath of the damp, electrically charged air, you step onto the grass, accepting that you lead your nation's greatest diplomatic battle instead of cannons.
Football has sparked real wars before. In 1969, the military 100-hour war broke out between El Salvador and Honduras over a World Cup qualifying match.
The opening whistle blows like a declaration of rebirth and sovereignty. Your calculated tactical instincts must now guide this fierce, peaceful battle. You watch your defensive line break the opponent's attack, triggering a massive wave of national relief that sweeps through your heavy soul. A single second of hesitation here means losing global influence and dropping your country's economic standing. Terrifying pressure now mounts inside your brain. You unleash a masterclass tactical strike in the final seconds of the half, completely outsmarting the opponent's strategy to prove your nation's intellectual superiority. Your net shaking represents a major national shock that could mean years of diplomatic dependency. But your entire nation looks to you to recover. Correcting your posture, you look at your exhausted players as soldiers of peace. You will push this group to the absolute limit for sovereign victory. Controlling like a grandmaster on an emerald chessboard, you rewrite the concept of imperial power through passing precision and total dominance.
The cost of the 2003 Iraq War exceeded $2 trillion, while the cost of the most expensive World Cup in history was $220 billion. Sports are cheaper and kinder to humanity.
You stand mere seconds away from making the final tactical substitution. Your nation's commercial and political influence depends entirely on the accuracy of this decision. With pure ice flowing in your veins, you secure your country's qualification for the knockout stages, protecting your people from the ghost of early international isolation. You stand face to face against a massive, heavily funded commercial empire. Show no fear, for individual skill eliminates military imbalances. You throw all predictions out the window, risking full attack to seize global sovereignty. Tactical bravery is the new key to dominance. The decisive refereeing decision stops the breath of half the planet, placing your nation one step away from controlling international policy. The new political map of the world is drawn based on the referee's whistle. Do your players possess the mental strength to write history? Every minute in extra time weighs years of diplomatic work. Your heroes' muscles resist physical strain to protect national pride.
In our reality, winning the World Cup immediately boosts the winning country's economic growth by 0.25% due to a surge in exports and global tourism.
You have emptied all your mental energy studying opponents. The green grass has become your battlefield that shows no mercy to weak minds. Against all calculations of the superpowers, you crafted a tactical miracle and brought your humble country to the final to decide the king of the new world. Tomorrow morning, 90 minutes will decide who runs the planet and who steps back. The stadium's silence tonight hides tomorrow's storm. Take a deep breath and step toward the touchline in the world final, knowing that 8 billion humans are watching your next move in awe. You stand tall before the national anthem. Your men carry no rifles, but they carry the dreams of a nation wanting to lead the world in peace. With the final whistle and your country declared king of the world, foreign investment began to flow, turning your country into the new global decision center. The sporting strategy succeeded in sparing your people the horrors of traditional wars. The new bright towers are the fruit of victory on the World Cup grass. You remind them that global dominance for 4 years is a heavy responsibility. This peace must be maintained through constant work and dedication. The new political influence gained from the Cup gives your country the edge in shaping commercial and energy laws across the entire planet.
When the World Cup replaces war, global military spending drops by 80%, shifting destructive arms budgets into human development projects.
The storms of terrifying media pressure during the tournament are gone. You have proven to the world that your country can lead humanity with an enlightened mind. Time stops for a moment as you take off the technical leadership badge. You did your duty and protected your country from suffocating economic wars. You leave the halls of geopolitical pressure behind temporarily, returning to your city to see the impact of the global win on people's lives. Your steps lead you back home. The peace you see in your neighbor's eyes is the true prize for your brilliant tactical plans. The warm embrace makes you forget the pressure of penalties and counterattack anxiety. You returned home bringing global sovereignty to your nation. You look at the stars, knowing that your plan, executed precisely by the players on the grass, placed your country at the top of the world pyramid for the next 4 years. The system succeeded. Football ran the world without shedding a single drop of blood, and your great historic mission as a peace engineer is complete. You proved to humanity that the strategic human mind can subdue major international crises and lead them to safety using sportsmanship. The gold you grip represents decades of national safety for your country. This is the true price of excellence in emerald chess. The pressure was suffocating, for losing meant your nation falling back. But tonight's tears of victory erase every obsession and fear you lived through on the bench. You led your country to its greatest political and economic victory in modern history without resorting to killing machines and the misery of destructive military wars.
Football's soft power is real. Winning the World Cup grants the victorious nation massive diplomatic influence, making it easier to sign major international trade agreements and forge solid alliances.
Millions of people turn out to celebrate, not for the end of a destructive war, but to celebrate a sporting victory that gave them absolute economic sovereignty for years to come. New global dominance begins here. Open pitches for youth are what ensure your nation's future political and economic superiority against secret opponent preparations. Totem, your name echoes in the annals of history as a general of peace, the leader who subdued economic superpowers with unique tactical shrewdness and a mastermind intellect. The obsession with matches and lethal tactical substitutions vanished in the silence of this peaceful morning. Your country's global sovereignty has become a secure, stable reality. Global capitals look to your brilliant analytical mind. You proved that football strategies are the true driver of political decisions today. Instead of taking on complex political positions, you choose to build the next generation. Protecting the green throne begins with teaching children the basics of the fair game. Your new battle is preparing future leaders who will protect your country's sovereignty in the World Cups of coming years against secret rival preparations. Knowledge and precise data are the alternative weapon in this era. You forge sporting minds capable of leading the nation with intelligence and wisdom. True dominance doesn't mean just winning a single championship. It means planting the spirit of victory and continuity in the hearts of future generations to ensure peace. You have transcended your status as an ordinary coach. Your tactical story has become an international reference proving the green grass is stronger than arsenals of destructive weapons. Walking under the clear sky, you feel internal peace. You gave your people global sovereignty and economic prosperity through a fair game of football. Years of terrifying pressure on the touchline have passed, leaving behind a strong homeland leading the planet. Thanks to your past tactical genius, history has immortalized your name, not as a military leader who destroyed cities, but as a brilliant planner who raised his nation's status through the shrewdness of the green rectangle. Leadership genes and rigorous planning pass to the new generations. The flame of defending the nation's sporting influence remains lit and never goes out. You take your place on the platform to pass on the most important lesson to the world's youth: how to manage superpower conflicts and seize rights with a cold, tactical mind.
In 2005, Ivory Coast's qualification for the World Cup helped end a years-long civil war after a historic appeal from the players. Football always holds the antidote to peace.
You put your historic training tools aside. You secured a high place for your country among nations, leaving the planet more peaceful and rational than you found it. The sounds of pressure and the obsession with angry crowds have fallen silent. What remains in your heart is an immense pride that you served humanity with your extraordinary tactical mind. You close your eyes smiling, remembering the smell of rain on the final match grass and the moment the world held its breath, waiting for the World Cup referee's whistle. You tell them that passing intelligence and collective defensive power are what protect the sovereignty of nations now. Football has become humanity's fortress against the misery of wars. You led your country in a suffocating global competition for dominance, achieving the greatest commercial and political influence without firing a single bullet. This is true glory. You feel absolute relief. For the strict strategic mindset and tactical intelligence to protect the nation's gains have passed safely to the future generation to complete the journey of honorable peace. The hands holding the stopwatch tonight once steered the rudder of global economics and politics entirely from atop a green rug soaked with rainwater. You stepped out of absolute obscurity, carried the lethal pressure of the alternative World Cup to wars, and left the arena as a legendary guardian who achieved peace and prosperity for his country and people. When a wrong pass becomes the reason for a nation's economic decline, can a coach's mind find troops after the crowd's whistle ends? Your tactical battle for leading the world in peace has just begun. Share your tactical blueprint with us in the comments. See you in the details of the next World Cup.